One of the most spectacular moves in figure skating is the throw jump, found only in the pair event.
Each one of the throws is an existing free skating jump, executed by the lady but assisted by the man to achieve more speed and greater height. In this picture, you see a triple salchow executed by Jill Trenery on the left and a throw triple salchow by Christine Hough and Doug Ladret on the right. You can clearly see the difference in the size of these elements.
The best pair skaters in the world can make the throw appear effortless. However, the risk is very high, with the lady often crashing to the ice.
Because of the potential danger of these throws, the ISU has put a limit of 2 throws in the long programs. To maximize the effect, pair teams are throwing higher and farther in the hopes that the success of these elements will bring them closer to achieving the perfect 6.
Like their draw, they will skate 9 out of the 19 pairs here. The same can't be said for the new European champions, Natalia Mishkutenok and Artur Dmitriev, 3rd. And I wonder if this draw is to their detriment.
Well, Chris, I really don't see a problem with it. They're the reigning European champions. They medaled last year at Worlds. They are not an unknown quantity to this judging panel.
I saw a 2-foot landing on the double axle there. Incredible flexibility, and here's one example of it.
We have just seen a very soundly skated program. However, their choice of music didn't exactly get me involved in the program. I wanted to be excited, and yet they just glided through the program, and I really didn't get involved. And I don't know whether or not that type of program in this event is going to be one that's going to put them on top.
Well, it was beautiful, and it was elegant, and it's a direct contrast from what you're going to see from Herbie and Isabelle, who are just powerful, very powerful. Here's a look at the double axle jump.
Possibly in slow motion, we can see whether or not she actually did 2-foot this jump on the landing.
Yes, she definitely touched down with her toe.
It's the first set of marks for Mishkutenok and Dmitriev, the required elements. 5.4 from the British judge up to 5.7s. These are first place marks, but lots of room there for...
It does look like the judges took a deduction for the double axle.
Natalia not happy with the first set of marks, but I think the second set will please her. As you can see, 5-6s up to 5-8s for the European champions of 1991, Mishkutenok and Dmitriev. Coming up, Canadians Ball and Bombardier. They're next. The first of 3 Canadian pairs to skate. 17-year-old Stacey Ball of St. Thomas, Ontario. Jean-Michel Bombardier, 20-year-old from Montreal. And this pair skates out of Boucherville, Quebec.
Chris, this is their first appearance at the World Championships, and their goal here is just to make an impression. Hopefully, it's going to be a big one.
They're opening with the double twist. Really nice and high. Very clean. And now the double axel. Nice.
I'm impressed by the fact that although these two skaters are almost of equal height, he handles her quite nicely for a girl of her size. Aside from a small unison problem in their side-by-side pair spin, I thought they've just had an outstanding debut at the World Championships here.
And that large Canadian contingent would certainly agree with you, Paul.
She looked like she was having a great time out there.
I think they're going to find that those marks are going to hold them into the event quite nicely.
Third place at the National Championships in Saskatoon. They were 4th after the original dance, but moved up in the long program. And here come the marks for presentation, and they're a little bit higher.
These marks look a lot better, and I think that if Stacey and Jean-Michel end up in the top 10, they'll have a great result here at the World.
Good start for Ball and Bombardier. Coming up, they're even better than last year. Our best bet in pairs since Barbara Underhill and Paul Martini. This is Lloyd Eisler and Isabelle Brasseur.
They've had a great week in practice this week. They're skating with a confidence that of world champions. Let's watch and see what happens.
think with that element complete, they're going to skate an absolutely fabulous program here this evening. See more than just the Canadian stand for this performance. I thought it was probably the finest I have ever seen Isabelle and Lloyd skate, and I think we're going to see some marks that are going to reflect this performance that are going to put them in first place.
Oh, Jose Picard is delighted, and every Canadian in the Olympia Hala is on their feet for Lloyd Eisler and Isabelle Brasseur.
They looked like they were having just a fantastic time out there. Lloyd had a smile on his face through the whole number.
This is the type of program that when it works, it really works. It wins over the audience in a really big way.
Here's a look at their double twist. Look at the height on that. Ferb has enough time to slap his hands at his sides and then set her down. Wow.
Showing no ill effects of that big knee brace that he'll have to wear for the next 2 years. It's a hockey injury suffered in December. And he does have the thick brace on, but no problems landing that jump.
No, that double axel was an element. If there's going to be one that gives them trouble, that would have been it, and they just nailed it.
They did not skate, really a full program. And here come the marks, and they are outstanding. The first set of marks, as you can see, are better than the Soviet couple, Mishkutenok and Dmitriev. 6 first-place marks.
I'd be interested to ask two of those judges why they only gave them 5 6s, because everything they did I thought was absolutely outstanding.
And there are the second set of marks. They're even better. 5 9s from Great Britain, Switzerland, and the German judge. And Brasseur and Eisler move into first place in the pairs competition. Shishkova and Vadim Naumov, Evgenia 18. Vadim turns 22 next month. They're from Leningrad, 3rd at the European Championships.
An interesting sidebar about this team is that they, as long as Mishkutenok and Dmitriev, train with the same coach, world-famous pair coach, Tamara Moscovina.
She had a problem with the double axel, put her hand down. There will be a deduction for that.
I think it's interesting when a team can change tempos as they've just done from the slow to the fast, and it gives the skater an opportunity to change moods. And if you can accomplish it in the short program, that proves you've got a real command of your music.
Shishkova and Vadim Naumov of the Soviet Union, that's a heavy mantle to wear, Soviet champions, especially for a young pair like this who have never been to the Worlds before.
It certainly is. I can remember my first Worlds, Chris. I came in not knowing what to expect, and here they are coming into their first Worlds as the Russian champions, and there's always a lot expected of you.
Here's a look at the double Axel jumps. As you can see, she doesn't quite get the height on the jump, and is forced to put her hand down on the landing.
A nice variation in a hip axel lift here, and it's demonstrating a lot of speed and flow here as they cover a lot of ice with this lift from one end of the rink to the other.
At the European Championships, it seemed like nerves got the best of them. They came in as the Soviet champions, but they really never were in contention against their other two pairs from the Soviet Union. This was a better performance, but Barb, probably not good enough to contend.
I don't think so. I thought Herbie and Isabelle were far greater than this team. They were just so much more exciting. I really think that this team will be up there, but I don't think that it's going to be a decision between first or second.
Than they anticipated. Down to a 4.9 from the German judge, and Shishkova and Naumov may not be in the top three with marks like that. Here are the presentation marks, the second set of marks for the Soviet champions, and they are considerably higher. However, for the most part, fourth place marks at this point for Shishkova and Naumov, the Soviet champs. Thank you very much. Here are two contenders to the gold medal that Brasseur and Eisler covet. Elena Bechke and Denis Petrov of the Soviet Union. They actually beat the Canadian pair at the NHK event this year in Japan.
An interesting sidebar about this team is that they train with Mishkutenok and Dmitriev in Leningrad with the world-famous pair coach Tamara Moscovina.
They are very well known for their strong short programs in the past. Of Lloyd and Isabelle. And here are the double axels. Very solid.
also have got excellent unison, which in pair skating is absolutely paramount to be a world-class competitor.
Program, but somehow it seemed to lack the speed and the flow that Lloyd and Isabelle had.
I'd have to say the thing that struck me about it was the fact that, as Barb mentioned, a strong program, but it didn't exactly involve the audience here. It didn't reach out across those boards and make the audience want to really feel a part of this program. Nonetheless, it's going to be interesting to see how the judges...
Being recorded, and there they are. The Italian judge 5-3, the American 5-8. The rest in between for Bechke and Petrov. And I think the second set of marks will be very interesting. 5.6, Here are the presentation marks, and they're a little bit higher. Not as high as Brasseur and Eisler, nor Mishkutenok and Dmitriev. So Bechke and Petrov right now are in third place. And we'll have more from Munich in the World Figures. Well, a disappointment for the German fans is that their national champions Mandy Wutzel and Axel Rauschenbach missed the competition because of illness. This is the second of the German ranked pairs, Peggy Schwarz and Alexander König.
This team has been competing for East Germany for all of their career, and now this is the first time they'll be competing for the United Germany.
Executed lift, but relative to the others, it did not have the degree of difficulty that we've seen in some of the higher ranked teams here this evening.
I think she touched down on her jump there at the very end.
Watching them skate, I almost feel as though this team has got greater potential and greater talent than the music is letting them show us. They almost appear to be holding back to stay with the music. And I think we could see possibly a stronger program if they had a selection of music that they had to skate up to.
Schwarz and Alexander König of Berlin.
I thought it was a well-skated program. The thing that struck me about it sitting here at the end of the rink is that it was plain to see that this program took place really in the center of the rink. There was not much movement out to the boards and cross-ice coverage. It simply moved up and down the long axis.
This pair has plenty of experience, though. They were at the Olympics in Calgary in 1988, finishing 7th, and in '89 at the World Championships, they were 4th.
it was nice to see them go out there and lay this program down, because in past she has had some problem dealing with the event, the big day. When it came to putting it out when she needed to, she often had difficulty with it.
And here are the first set of marks for Schwarz and König, and the marks for required elements are 5 3s and a 5-5 from the British judge. So they certainly garner better marks than their German teammates. Let's find out how the presentation marks are. They are across the board. So Schwarz and König move into 5th place. They move ahead of Shishkova and Naumov of the Soviet Union, and also Ball and Bombardier of Canada.
Thanks. Next pair.
Welcome back to the Olympia Halle in Munich as we prepare for Christine Hough and Doug Ladret. The most gripping story of the Nationals was how Christine lived up to her nickname Tuffy. They suffered that horrendous fall early in their long program, regrouped, placed second. They're here, and really the door's open for them to move into the top 3, Barb.
The door is wide open, and this is one of my personal favorites. Let's see how it goes. Christine singled out of the double Lutz. That's definitely going to cost them there.
Especially in light of the fact that the majority of the top skaters here are doing double axles in this short program, which is a considerably more difficult element than the double Lutz they just tried. Tell this program has got a slightly different humor to it. It's something different that nobody else here has tried, and it's going to be interesting to see if the judges appreciate the little bit of humor that they've tried to inject in this short program. As you watch the animation on their faces throughout this program, you can't help but warm up to this team. They go out there and attempt to have a really good time, obviously doing it. That's something that they truly love to do, and that's skate.
Well, I love the program, but I just think that they're going to be pretty disappointed with the marks. There has to be a deduction for the missed element.
Well, there's a sea of red here cheering them on, that's for sure. 21-year-old Christine Hough and 29-year-old Doug Ladret.
Here in the replay, we can see that Christine really didn't get a nice setup into that jump. She obviously felt rushed and tried to do it sooner than she probably would have liked.
Disappointment on Christine's face.
It obviously wasn't the program that they hoped for, but I'm hoping that some marks are going to come up that are going to at least keep them in the hunt for the long program.
Kept going through the rest of it. Yeah, it was fun.
That's their coach and Christine's stepfather, Kerry Leach. The leaders, Isabelle Brasseur and Lloyd Eisler. And here are the first set of marks for Hough and Ladret, and they are disappointing. The Czech judge 4-5, 4-7, 4-7, and as you can see, those marks for the required elements are quite low.
They're very low. Let's hope that the next set of marks are much higher.
This set of marks is considerably higher, Chris, and you have to remember that in the short program, one cannot afford to miss an element, or you end up getting a set of marks that we've just seen for Christine and Doug in the technical end of the marking.
Quite a discrepancy. We've got a 5-7 for the British judge, yet 3 5-0s. For Hough and Ladret, they will be 9th, and that's behind their teammates Ball and Bombardier.
Kovaříková,
This is the defending Czech champions, Radka Kovaříková, who's 15, and René Novotný, 27-year-old. They were 4th at the European Championships. Last year, 8th in Halifax.
They're also typically very strong short program skaters.
As I watch Radka, I can't help but be impressed by what a wonderful feminine presence she has on the ice. She almost looks like a dancer, a ballerina type air to her that is not often seen out here in the pair event. I can't help but be impressed by this young girl's presence on the ice. As young as she is, she goes out there with a maturity that often comes after only a number of years of competing at this level.
She almost reminds me of a Soviet dancer. She has real grace and pointed toes.
It's such a nice thing to see in the pair event because it's not often a characteristic of female.
It'll be interesting to see where they place this Czechoslovakian couple.
A really nice set of marks there.
I was hoping that this team would place in the top 10. With that first set of marks, they have the potential to move possibly into the top 5.
These will be the critical marks then for Radka Kovaříková and her partner, and there they are. They do move up. 5-7 from the British judge, and that is a third-place mark from the British judge. And overall, that's enough to put them into 5th place. So